There's more to this. It's fantastic. It's incredible. Many thanks to all of you. From the bottom of our hearts. I'm grateful. Homestead Rescue's Misty Raney is the courageous and strong woman who frequently appears on our televisions, committed to assisting families in surviving off the grid. However, there is a very real woman who has experienced loss and heartbreak beneath that dictatorial demeanor on film. Rumors about her leaving the show and revealing details about her personal life have been going around lately. The reality of Misty Raney's life will be exposed in this film, along with what goes on behind the scenes. You will be astounded at the tragedy Misty Raney has endured throughout the years if you watch this entire video. Misty Raney. Who is she? Misty Raney's diligence is immediately apparent when you first see her on Homestead Rescue. She doesn't hesitate to get her hands dirty when assisting families in living off the grid. That work ethic stems from a life forged in the untamed wilderness of Alaska, one of the most challenging landscapes in the United States. Misty Raney was born on November 9, 1979, in Sitka, Alaska, in the United States, into the daring Raney family. She and her brothers were raised away from the bustle of the city by their parents, Marty Raney and Molly. Marty Raney, Misty's father, is well known for his survival abilities, so it should come as no surprise that he instilled similar qualities in all of his kids. Misty learned how to construct, produce, hunt, and defend her family's homestead while growing up with her siblings Matt and Miles. Misty was helping transport water, butcher livestock, and make sure her family had what they needed to survive the season, while many kids in suburban neighborhoods were learning how to ride bikes. The difficulties posed by Alaska's environment and climate taught her these survival skills early in life. They had to take care of their fundamental necessities because they lived far from civilization. They obtained what they required for daily living from their nearby surroundings: meat, shelter, food, and drinking water. They also had to carefully conserve food during the severe winter months. The Raneys have lived this way for many years. Misty learned the Alaska stone and log family building trade, which uses ground-based natural materials, from her brothers as she grew up. In addition, she has expertise in hunting, farming, and a number of other areas, all of which contributed to her rise to renown. Misty Raney is an adult who works as a farmer, builder, surfer, and hunter. She rose to prominence on the reality show Homestead Rescue. The show centers on the lives of certain Raney family members as they assist other families who are having trouble settling on a farm, particularly in challenging areas. The Raneys are prepared for this mission because they have spent the majority of their lives in the desert. The headliner of the show is Marty Raney, Misty's father, who is well known for his expertise in survival. Ultimate Survival Alaska was another reality show he had previously hosted. Misty Raney has two brothers, Miles and Matthew Matt Raney, and an elder sister, Melanie. Of her three siblings, Matt is the most well-known. Like her, he frequently participates in farm rescues. Matt Raney is a better hunter than any of the Raney children. He works on the family's popular show as a constructor and mountain guide. He is also skilled in farming and raising animals. Matt Raney is married to Katie, and the two of them have a child. Despite not being highlighted on Homestead Rescue, the other Raney kids are equally prosperous in their respective industries. Melanie Raney is the owner of Chew Watch Adventures, an Alaskan canoe and canoe adventure company. Miles Raney, his brother, is an explorer and mountain biker. Micaiah Botto, a carpenter and surfer who shares Misty Raney's passion for the great outdoors, is her husband. They were married on March 7, 2000, and they have been together ever since, despite the fact that information about their wedding ceremony is not easily accessible. In April 2011, the couple welcomed their first child, a son called Gage. In Hatcher Pass, Alaska, the charming couple constructed an 800-foot cabin close to the Raney family home. They also have a lovely property in Hawaii. They spent the summer in Alaska and then went to Hawaii for the winter. Despite their lengthy marriage, Misty seldom ever discusses her private life in public. She only shares tidbits about her family life on social media. Misty became a major character in Homestead Rescue when it debuted in 2016 and has been a regular cast member for all 13 seasons. Her area of expertise was farming and food security, which entails assisting households in learning how to cultivate, safeguard, and preserve food in settings where the elements frequently work against them. Misty was the one who taught people how to rear cattle, make the most of every available place for gardens, and ensure that their labors were not in vain. Because Misty was more than just a farmer or builder, her fans adored her. She had a great deal of concern for the folks she assisted. Her empathy was evident when she worked with low-income families. As Homestead Rescue's seasons progressed, Misty not only gained popularity, but also grew to represent strength. However, she carried her own hardships and heartbreaks that the majority of spectators never truly saw. Just like many people who seem strong on the outside, Misty Raney's personal challenges. People frequently perceive Misty Raney as a powerful woman when they watch her on Homestead Rescue. She is the person who always arrives smiling, takes on challenging tasks, and inspires families who are about to give up. However, strength does not imply that she has not faced difficulties. Misty has experienced personal struggles that aren't always evident on screen, just like many of us. These difficulties serve as a reminder that people are human, despite their outward displays of toughness or confidence. Misty's battles with weight and body image have been among her most talked about issues. Misty's upbringing in Alaska was characterized by family, hard work, and survival. In the wilderness, your abilities were more important than your appearance. However, when you get notoriety, things change. All of a sudden, people are remarking on your attractiveness in addition to your abilities. If you've been watching the show closely, you might have noticed that Misty's appearance changed between seasons 1 and 3. Given her family's history of health problems, numerous fans voiced concerns over her weight increase. Additionally, there were rumors that Misty might be experiencing occasional stress eating. Misty was also believed to be pregnant by several. Misty, though, has her own opinion on the subject. "A change is only one aspect of homesteading," she said. She went on to say that because they work hard and require fuel, it's common for folks who live off the land to gain a few pounds. She acknowledged that she was unable to identify the precise cause of her weight increase, but she did mention that she felt more energized than normal while filming. She even made lighthearted jokes about being pregnant, which sparked unfounded rumors. Those remarks occasionally struck a deep chord with Misty. She has talked about how her weight has dropped over time. She has experienced periods of insecurity about her appearance, as do many women. The distinction is that her concerns were exacerbated by the fact that she was on television, where thousands of people might quickly form opinions about her appearance. Although she has many admirers on social media, she has also received criticism from those who feel free to say hurtful things. However, Misty has directly responded to that criticism. She has been candid about her difficulties with body image rather than allowing it to break her. She acknowledged that dealing with it hasn't always been simple, but she also demonstrated to her supporters that she doesn't let those difficulties to define who she is. She reminds people that her value is not determined by a scale of numbers. It is measured by her employment, the family she supports, and the affection she shows her own family. But there has been more to the burden of being in the spotlight than just body image. Misty has also experienced the strain of juggling the obligations of reality TV with her personal life. Homestead Rescue is not an easy show to film. It entails long days, arduous labor in demanding settings, and time spent apart from her son and husband. For a lady who values her family so highly, separation might be difficult. Misty has acknowledged that she gets tired from the routine. She must balance being a public figure with being a wife and mother. This is a dilemma that many working mothers can relate to. Once more, though, she faces the additional difficulty of juggling everything while the world and the cameras are on. Misty has repeatedly had to contend with the pressure to never give in, to always be strong, and to never reveal weakness. Misty has also struggled because of the way of living she was raised in. Although living off the land and in isolated locations can be incredibly fulfilling, there are always difficulties. Misty has faced the challenges of homesteading even as an adult. It takes a toll from harsh winters, erratic weather, and the constant effort required to sustain a self-sufficient lifestyle. It is emotionally and physically exhausting. Misty has carried that burden for the most of her life, and when you live that way, there are no breaks. She hasn't concealed such difficulties. On the show, you can occasionally catch glimpses of her weariness or annoyance, but those instances just serve to increase her relatability. She doesn't act as though living off the grid is simple or glamorous. She demonstrates that it requires sacrifice, arduous work, and perhaps a significant emotional cost to live there. Despite all of these difficulties, Misty has demonstrated something potent. The challenges of homesteading, the strain of celebrity, and the ongoing body shaming she endures. She is more inspirational because she has demonstrated vulnerability than because of her strength. Fans relate to her because she's genuine as well as tough. She doesn't pretend her life is flawless or cover up her imperfections. By acknowledging her personal challenges, she enables others to be open about their own. Seeing someone you look up to demonstrate that they are not unbeatable has a profoundly human quality. Even though Misty is powerful, she occasionally questions herself, tears, and aches. Despite this, she consistently gets back up. She never stops. That's the most relatable aspect of her narrative. In addition to molding her life, her personal hardships have influenced how she assists others. When Misty speaks to families on Homestead Rescue who are on the verge of giving up, she is drawing on more than just her experiences as a farmer or builder. She is speaking as someone who has experienced discouragement, feelings of inadequacy, and doubts about one's ability to persevere. Her advice is so effective because of her empathy. She's not giving a sermon from above. She is compassionately and empathetically meeting people where they are. You will come to the conclusion that hardship is a natural part of life, regardless of one's identity. After carefully examining Misty's journey, you shouldn't feel guilty about it. It's something that molds, instructs, and fortifies you. In addition to helping her recover, her candor about her struggles has benefited innumerable admirers who identify with her journey. Misty is incredibly sympathetic in many ways because of her experiences. Everybody has struggles. Everybody has insecurities. We all have heartbreaking losses. But how we respond to them is what counts. And Misty demonstrates to us that despite life's hardships and tragedies, you should persevere. Keep battling and keep going. Now that Misty is better, that's fantastic news. She has successfully lost the excess weight she acquired by adopting a better lifestyle. Fans still find Misty Raney to be as attractive and seductive as she was on the first day of the program. Despite the changes in her look, Homestead Rescue. I believe there is a serious issue with this homestead. Despite all of these difficulties, Misty has demonstrated something potent. The challenges of homesteading, the strain of celebrity, and the ongoing body shaming she endures. She is more inspirational because she has demonstrated vulnerability than because of her strength. Fans relate to her because she's genuine as well as tough. She doesn't pretend her life is flawless or cover up her imperfections. By acknowledging her personal challenges, she enables others to be open about their own. Seeing someone you look up to demonstrate that they are not unbeatable has a profoundly human quality. Even though Misty is powerful, she occasionally questions herself, tears, and aches. Despite this, she consistently gets back up. She never stops. That's the most relatable aspect of her narrative. In addition to molding her life, her personal hardships have influenced how she assists others. When Misty speaks to families on Homestead Rescue who are on the verge of giving up, she is drawing on more than just her experiences as a farmer or builder. She is speaking as someone who has experienced discouragement, feelings of inadequacy, and doubts about one's ability to persevere. Her advice is so effective because of her empathy. She's not giving a sermon from above. She is compassionately and empathetically meeting people where they are. You will come to the conclusion that hardship is a natural part of life, regardless of one's identity. After carefully examining Misty's journey, you shouldn't feel guilty about it. It's something that molds, instructs, and fortifies you. In addition to helping her recover, her candor about her struggles has benefited innumerable admirers who identify with her journey. Misty is incredibly sympathetic in many ways because of her experiences. Everybody has struggles. Everybody has insecurities. We all have heartbreaking losses. But how we respond to them is what counts. And Misty demonstrates to us that despite life's hardships and tragedies, you should persevere. Keep battling and keep going. Now that Misty is better, that's fantastic news. She has successfully lost the excess weight she acquired by adopting a better lifestyle. Fans still find Misty Raney to be as attractive and seductive as she was on the first day of the program. Despite the changes in her look, Homestead Rescue. I believe there is a serious issue with this homestead. What are you contemplating? I sincerely hope you can assist us. The Discovery Channel broadcasts the well-liked reality program Homestead Rescue. Abandoned and Alone was the first episode of the show to premiere in 2016. It has since aired 13 episodes in all. However, what is the Homestead Rescue concept? Living an idyllic, simpler, off-grid lifestyle has become more fashionable in recent years. Families all around America, and occasionally even beyond, adore the prospect of escaping the bustle of the metropolis and the allure of contemporary distractions. Like their great-grandparents, they desire independence and self-sufficiency. However, being free is not the only benefit of living in a rural area. You will encounter dangerous situations. Many families who choose to live off the grid, however, lack the abilities, know-how, or experience necessary to cultivate food, locate water, generate electricity, or handle predator threats. Homestead Rescue is a solution to the problem. In Homestead Rescue, craftsman and survival expert Misty Raney, along with his son Matt, a hunter and fisherman, and daughter Misty, a farmer, try to teach these people the necessary skills to live and prosper in the wilderness. The father, Misty Raney, is the skeleton because he has decades of experience living off-road in Alaska, and his knowledge is invaluable to those who are just starting out. The family's eldest, Matt, is a hunter and builder who contributes his general repair and survival abilities. What about Misty? It is Misty who transforms the intimidating into the manageable. Misty is teaching folks how to cultivate food that lasts, safeguard it, and make their property really sustainable. While Marty and Matt may be busy constructing shelters or putting systems in place. The Raney family helps with various responsibilities in addition to reconstructing homes the right way. Surviving and flourishing under strange circumstances is what makes the show so beautiful. Families are seen attempting to subsist on the land, battling the elements, and possibly going overboard. Because their farmstead appears to be run down and unsafe, these individuals show up on the screen worn out, irritated, and occasionally prepared to give up and return to civilized life. Their houses have leaky roofs, their gardens are parched, their stores are empty, and their eyes betray their desperation. The Raney family then intervenes to save the day and save their land. Marty talked to Matt and Misty about the TV offer when the Discovery Channel originally presented the show to him, and they all agreed that it needed to be as genuine as possible. The majority of viewers of reality TV were already aware that TV producers attempt to blur the boundary between entertainment and reality. Scripted TV shows are now immediately identifiable to viewers, and Raw Productions and the Discovery Channel intend to change that. Therefore, the Raney family consented when they stressed that they would only accept the agreement provided the show was made with little writing and was an actuality. Everything happened naturally, and they met each person they assisted on the show for the first time when they pulled into their driveways. The Raney family would spend 10 days with the selected homesteader in order to resolve their issues as best they could. However, as we all know, it would be unrealistic to think that they were able to solve every issue those homesteaders would have encountered. As seen, they worked on projects that would benefit them throughout that time. They were aware that it would take more than 10 days to construct the host a new home, so they understood it was not an option. It took the production more than 100 days of non-stop filming to complete the entire season, and filming each episode was extremely taxing. With the airing dates so near, they had only a few weeks to complete the post-production, which was quite difficult for them. For example, the Raney family insisted on making the TV show as realistic as possible, so that they couldn't complain about the lengthy working hours and short deadlines. Even though they finished filming it in March, and it was supposed to debut in mid-June. Each episode ends with the novice survivalists making the decision to either pack up and head back to society or persevere through their first year. The Discovery Channel ordered further episodes of the TV show because of its enormous and devoted fan base. What then drew viewers to this program? The series captivated viewers with the way the homesteads and their inhabitants were transformed. Of course, the drama also contributes to the appeal. Will the water system function? Is the greenhouse going to survive this storm? Are the animals going to live? Viewers are kept on the edge of their seats by those tense moments. You will then be able to see firsthand how a structure is reconstructed piece by piece in each episode. But as each episode comes to a close, it's incredibly satisfying. And you see a family proudly standing on what feels like home at last. Even on bad soil, a garden is flowering once more. And the repair of the pumps offers the homeowners another opportunity to become independent. A fascinating look into the larger homesteading movement is also provided by the show. The desire to get back to the countryside has impacted an increasing number of people during the performance. Some people do it to avoid paying bills and debt. Others cultivate food in the hopes of improving their health. And a lot of people do it because they're sick of relying on faulty systems. But the unpleasant truth is, homesteading requires all of your resources. It will require patience, money, time, and effort. That truth is not concealed by Homestead Rescue. It displays both the successes and the setbacks. And they trust it because of its honesty. Therefore, the answer to the question, what is Homestead Rescue really about, is straightforward. Second chances are important to Homestead Rescue. It's about showing those who are about to give up that they can succeed after all. It's about resilience, freedom, and self-reliance. Are the employees of Homestead Rescue compensated? Most reality TV stars make between $50,000 and $80,000 a year, with the highest paid individuals in the U.S. earning $100. Despite not owning brand new, expensive automobiles or living in enormous, opulent mansions. Marty, Matt, and Misty Raney earn a respectable living from the Homestead Rescue series. Who provides funding for Homestead Rescue projects? The majority of the reality show's renovations are funded by Discovery Channel. However, the Raney family and their team have consistently saved money by reusing items. To what extent is Homestead Rescue authentic? The Raneys, the primary cast of Homestead Rescue, have consistently portrayed the show as entirely authentic and unscripted. Nevertheless, previous disputes and legal actions against the program cast doubt on it. The family has been accused of fabricating several narratives for the cameras throughout the years. Regardless of what people believe or say about the show, it still succeeds. By 2025, the Homestead Rescue series on the Discovery Channel had broadcast for 13 seasons and had grown to include several spin-off programs, including Homestead Rescue Building, A Legacy, Homestead Rescue Deconstructed, Homestead Rescue, Raney Ranch, and Tools of the Trade. Has Homestead Rescue ever taken place? As a result, Homestead Rescue was helpful in providing the two with support. After pigs were said to have damaged a portion of their land, the Raney family assisted them in their recovery. The couple discussed Homestead Rescue and expressed their dissatisfaction with the program after the episode aired. They later sued the show for failing to fulfill its commitment. The Zbecks claim that the show misrepresented them. The pair stated that they were asked to participate in a show featuring competent homesteaders by the production crew. They said, however, that after filming started, the filmmakers staged sequences that showed them as inept and in dire need of assistance, even though their time on the property was profitable. In addition to the deceptive presentation, Kim and Josh said the show omitted a crucial aspect of their off-grid lifestyle. Their homestead did not include their prosperous Revolutionary Roots farm. The Zbecks argued that the show had fabricated their hardships for dramatic effect and that their circumstances were not accurately portrayed. As a result, the couple was mocked and chastised when the episode aired. The couple noted that they did not anticipate the representation to be so extreme, but they had consented to a certain amount of extra drama for the benefit of television. This prompted them to sue the show's creators, alleging that they had ruined their reputation by defaming, misrepresenting, and staging events for TV. Particular claims of deception. The Zbecks were portrayed in the case as completely inept homesteaders who struggled to manage their farm, despite their claims to have substantial homesteading expertise and experience. They pointed out, for example, that the segment featured pigs ruining their land. Although it was suggested on the episode that they were careless, the Zbeck maintained that they had water and shelter systems in place for the animals and that the pigs were utilized to naturally clear the field. The Zbecks also claimed that the show's producers had fabricated the story to make their farm seem more chaotic than it actually was, and that the dead hens in the episode were not theirs. The couple claimed that this representation caused them severe suffering because it resulted in unfavorable public feedback, including hate messages and internet abuse. How did the lawsuit turn out? Did the Homestead Rescue team receive a fine? The lawsuit brought by Kim and Josh Zbeck was ultimately dismissed by the court. The judge determined that the couple's allegations of defamation and misrepresentation were not supported by enough evidence. The lawsuit raised awareness of the possible differences between reality television and real-life events. even though it did not result in a well-publicized settlement or serious legal repercussions for the program. The Zbeks were not satisfied even after the case was dismissed. As a result, they openly discussed their bad experience, specifically their portrayal with Homestead Rescue. They have posted their version of events on social media, stating that they believe the production crew had misled them. Additionally, they regret accepting the invitation to appear on the show since it damaged their reputation as expert homesteaders more than it helped. The authenticity of the show and whether some incidents are staged or exaggerated for dramatic purpose have been called into question by the lawsuit against Homestead Rescue. Similar to other reality TV shows, Homestead Rescue has been accused of exaggerating some circumstances or creating fake events in order to make for more interesting television. A number of other Homestead Rescue contestants have sued the program in addition to Kim and Josh Zabek. The majority claimed that the show is fake because it exaggerates events to produce dramatic effects. This supports Zabek's worries, implying that certain scenes were altered or changed to suit a particular plot. In January 2018, for example, a different couple filed a lawsuit against Homestead Rescue. On December 13, 2017, Ren and Innie made an appearance in a Season 2 episode. In the episode, the Raneys assisted them in maintaining their yurt's moldy leather surfaces. They later stated that although the Raneys did provide them with a lot of assistance with their homestead, several elements of their episode, such as the utilization of alternative fuels and the chronology of events, were overstated. Marty Rainey has insisted that the show's goal is to assist individuals live under challenging circumstances. Even though the Rainey family has not made a detailed public statement regarding the lawsuit, there is no doubt about the family's extensive history of off-grid existence and their proficiency with survival. But the lawsuit has sparked debates over how much of the show is actually true and how much is shaped by the needs of TV production. How do you feel about the life of Misty Raney? Does she have a tragic life? Please share your opinions in the comments section. To ensure you never miss our most recent updates, please hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and enable notifications if you liked this video. Watch the video that is currently playing on your screen before you go.